Welcome to A Human Perspective, a podcast where I'll be sharing work and personal experiences and learnings. I will also chop it up with guests from time to time who will also share their own perspectives. I can't promise everything you hear on this podcast will always be right, but I can promise to always give you a human perspective. My name is Lola Oguntoken, and I'm your host. Let's go. You are just about managing to spin all your plates and stay on top of your workload. Your manager loves the work you've been doing and asks if you can take on an additional project. They know you get things done and your results are always good, so it has to be you. But you know you're just about coping. You know you shouldn't take it on. You simply don't have the bandwidth. You don't want to say no, or you feel you can't. What would saying no mean? That you're a bad employee, that you're incapable, that you're ungrateful for the opportunity, that you don't care about your career, that you can't cope and manage your time effectively, that you don't respect your manager, that you simply don't care or you're selfish. It's funny, when I say these sentences out loud, they seem like silly fears. But when you're in the thick of it, these fears feel very real. So you take on the extra project, you'll cope, and by some miracle, you do. You're not quite sure how, but you do. Your manager is elated. Amazing. I'm so impressed. As a reward, here are a few more responsibilities. And I think you'll be great for these 2 more projects. Yeah, I'll hand those over to you. Can't wait to see what you do. You're still recovering from the effort you put in over the past months. You thought you had escaped the hellish territory, and now you may be back there again, and this time deeper. You're not sure you'll survive the extra work this time around. You're always tired, you haven't spent quality time with your partner or loved ones for months. Your thoughts are consumed with your infinity-long to-do list. You're losing yourself and your health. This is a scary place to be. And sadly, I know this is familiar to many. If you care about what you do, you're passionate about your job, you've likely been here before if you're not here today. But working this way, heck, living this way is not sustainable and it's not good for you. So what do? The first place to start is to change your own perception on saying no. When you are saying no, what are you really saying? What you're really saying is, I pride myself on doing good work. Taking on this project will spread me thin and have a knock-on effect on output. Or, I'm tired and need a break. Or, I need to spend more time with my family. Or, I need to prioritize myself. And all these reasons and variations of these reasons are valid. They matter. You matter. You have to believe that you matter. This will be the driving force for any conversation you have with your manager. Care for yourself by advocating for yourself. Another key element to approaching the prospect of saying no to your boss is to define your boundaries. Okay, pause right here. I'd like you to get a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, or you can use your iPad. I'll leave a small gap to allow you to pause the podcast. Right. Are you back? Great. Draw a line down the center of the page. In the left column, list requests that have come your way that you consider to be reasonable. You can pause again here until you're done with your list. Okay, done. In the right column, list requests you struggled with due to your workload. You can pause again here. Okay, done? Take a look at your piece of paper. Digest the contents of both columns. The items on the left are requests that fall within your boundaries. The items on the right are requests that fell outside of your boundaries. Now, I know work requires flexibility and everyone needs to be stretched and challenged in their role, but you should have boundaries. Get another sheet and again split it in 2. List your boundaries on the left and list why they are important to you on the right. This column on the right is what is often forgotten when working. Don't ignore or dismiss what is important to you. Then there's the quality versus quantity debate. Quite often, people's workloads are their own doing. They volunteer for everything, say yes to everything, just to show they are capable, to show they're committed, to make a good impression, or so that they can ask for a promotion or pay increase. And that's all fine. But what a lot of people who take on the world don't realize is when your workload is heavy, the quality of what you do correlates negatively. So you may be juggling 1,000 things, but is it possible to do 1,000 things well? Be clear about what is important to you about the work you do. And bear this in mind before catching every opportunity thrown at you. If you miss one, it's not the end of the world. When the time is right, there'll be more. Something people don't do enough is leverage their team members or peers. You don't have to do everything on your own. You can ask for help. Is there anyone with relevant experience who can provide input, or someone you know who has an interest in the area you're tackling? Would they love the opportunity to get involved? Would this be a great opportunity for cross-team or department collaboration? Would this be an amazing learning opportunity for someone who reports into you? Can they kick off the initial stages of the project, enabling you to better use your time by only having to work on the juicy part? Think about it. Finally, talk to your manager. Where tasks or projects are thrust upon you, you'll need to learn how to talk to your manager about your workload. You should be having regular one-to-ones to keep them in the loop of your responsibilities. If you do not have regular one-to-ones, ask for them. This helps build a relationship and encourages openness as you become more familiar with each other. Use your one-to-ones wisely. Don't make the mistake of only ever focusing on detail or problems. Always start with the big picture, then become granular when necessary. Discuss your workload, how much time you're spending on activities, deadlines, any challenges you're dealing with. When your manager has a more intimate view of your world, they won't be so quick to throw things at you. They'll at least consider your workload before doing that and ask whether you have capacity. Oh, I hear you say in the background, but Lola, I've always said yes. So you've built up this reputation where you've always done everything with a smile. It's always a yes. It's always a no problem, of course. Meanwhile, inside, you're weeping. How on earth do you now say no? I'm going to cover this in a future episode, so stay tuned. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of A Human Perspective. As always, I'll see you in the next.